Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of the Range Rover build series. And yeah, if you didn't watch the last two episodes, this is my 2005 Range Rover L322, and we've put a BMW engine inside, and today we're gonna do some more stuff. So in the first episode I showed you how we pulled the engine out of a BMW E90 and put it into the Range Rover, and also we did swap the gearbox. The gearbox is out of a BMW X3. It's a ZF 6-speed gearbox because the Range Rover comes stuck with an GM 5-speed gearbox, and that's pretty bad. The original gearbox broke on me, so that's why we did all this swap stuff. And the reason why I've changed the engine is because this engine is way better than the first generation of M57s. And yeah, so today we're gonna tackle the fuel system. We already did the fuel return lines. So I've got the fuel return from the engine. It comes to a T-piece and goes on the two fuel return lines on the car. We have one here and one over here. That's the fuel feed line. We need to still connect this one down to the filter, which is down there. And yeah, that's where we put the filter. And we need to make a line from here to the filter, and then the filter connects into the stock quick connect that was on the engine. This one. And that connects on here. After that, we need to finish the wiring. We started the wiring in the last episode, and that's the wiring for the transmission. We need to still do some wiring. I will show you, and then we're gonna put the whole front end back together. I fixed this part here, which was really annoying to fix, but we did it. And I fixed also the what is it called, axle booth on this side, and put the axle in. On the other side I have a problem. I've tried to put the axle in here, but the axle, as you guys can see, it won't go all the way in. It's like stuck in here, and I really don't know why. It should go easy in, but I don't know why. So if you have some tips how to get this stuck axle in, just leave it in the comments. Also, yeah, this side is done. No, the other side is done. This side won't go in, but I'm gonna address this problem later because we have more stuff to do. Then I need to, you see this wire down here, wait, here. This wire, that's the wire for the climate compressor, and that's the wiring loom from the engine, and the wiring loom on the engine is from the BMW E90, and the compressor has like two wires. One is black and gray and the other one is brown and yellow. And the AC compressor on this engine was stock mounted over here, and I took the compressor of the Range Rover and mounted it on this side of the engine. And here's the connector of the compressor that's currently mounted on the engine, and the wire in here there's just one wire, and it's black and gray. But I think the brown and yellow wire is the ground for the climate compressor, and I think this older compressor is grounded to the housing, like from the chassis. And we need to put just the black and gray wire from the connector down here to this one. That's what we're gonna do right now, and then we can put in the radiators and the AC condenser and all the radiators and stuff. And then we need to figure out a way for the charge pipe, like that's where it comes from the turbo. It's just loose on here, so I can move it. and we need to find a way to get it. I think it needs to go somewhere here, because that's the intercooler of the car, and yeah, it's right here. Then we need to make like a pipe to get to the intercooler, and then we need from the intercooler pipe to get over here, which should not be as big of a problem. And yes, so today we're gonna do fuel system, the wiring stuff down here, the main wiring stuff for engine and gearbox, and we put the front end back together. So enough talking around, let's go to work and see how far we can get the car today. Okay, I was just about to cut these wires for the AC compressor, but then I found out on the Range Rover the AC compressor is connected on the chassis. So the connector for the AC compressor is on the chassis loom, and I just connected it over here, and it should work like this now. So you don't need to cut these wires or anything. That's the connector for the oil level sensor, which we can't use in the oil pan of the Range Rover because there is no hole for the sensor. So we don't need this plug, and we don't need this AC plug. Yeah, so we're gonna zip them up down here, and now we go and put the front back together. Alright guys, so it just started to rain. We assembled the front end, we put all the radiators in, we hooked every line up, like coolant lines, power steering lines, AC lines, and even the charge pipes from the turbo to the intercooler, and from the intercooler to the manifold. But on the stock Range Rover, this line here, which goes into the manifold, is with a clamp connected. And on the E90 there is like a quick connect with a clip, but I don't have this line. I need to get one of these. And the other pipes, they were pretty easy to make them fit. We just used old parts from the Range Rover and cut them to length. And on this side, also the E90 has on this side an air temperature sensor in the charge pipe. So it would be a good thing to get the charge pipe of the E90. And also there is a air temperature sensor here somewhere for E90, like before the intercooler and after the intercooler. And I don't have this one. But yeah. Now we are doing the wiring, and as I said, most of the wiring was already done in the last video, but now there's just a few wires left and the transmission wires, and we get these done today. Also we need to do like this proper, we need to solder them together properly, because this is bullshit, that's all grounds. But yeah, after that we're gonna try to crank, and if we did everything good, then the engine should crank at least. It's not gonna start because of the EWS, the immobilizer, but it should crank at least. And if the engine is cranking, then I can get rid of the EWS system, and then of the immobilizer, and then the car should start. Yes. Alright. Alright guys, we just finished up the wiring, and then I tried to start the car, but the engine wouldn't crank. And then I checked the EWS system, the immobilizer, because I had a similar issue when I engine swapped an E36, and I had to break on the EVS module itself. I had to break 2 wires, and then the engine start signal would come through and the engine cranks. And yeah, so the Range Rover, the engine cranks now, but we have the problem with the immobilizer in the engine ECU, I need to remove that. And if you know somebody who can do this on DDE6, yeah, I think it's DDE6, it should be DDE6, then you can leave a comment. And yeah, now I'm gonna try if diagnostics works on the car via OBD, and we will see, but I will show you how the car cranks now. So I'm sorry for the beeping, but yeah, that's the EVS module, by the way. And if you do this, you have a thick black wire, which is also on the engine harness in front, and you have a black yellow wire, and you just need to break them for the engine to start. I break them with this little piece of metal, and if you break them, the car will start. At least it will crank. So as you can see, we have crank. Battery is about to die, but yeah, engine cranks. And well, that's it for now. And yeah, I will try to get diagnostic to see if we can read the can read from the ECU fault codes or anything. And yeah, so that's it for today's episode. If you want to see this car running, then subscribe and leave your comment if you know somebody who can do emo delete on DDE6, and if you know how I get this excellent on the right passenger side. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.